Right then, welcome back to Ryan's podcast, episode 55. The most realist, rawest, uncut, never edited his podcast on the internet. I should really go back and check that. If this is the first one of my podcasts you're listening to, I feel sorry for you. There's going to be better ones than this. I do my things very like I didn't plan on doing a podcast today, and even when I plan on doing a podcast, I don't actually plan, if that makes sense. Like it's very rare. I'm like, right, I'm doing a podcast today, and it's going to be about this. I'm going to make some notes and blah blah. It'll just be like, right, between doing everything else and blah blah. Well, I just got the kids back from school, and I've done this. I'm going to jump in here, and I'm going to put this on record. I'm going to talk, and it might be, but like the last one, I had the idea. Obviously, I wanted to talk about my old rapping and my old raps and stuff, but like I didn't make notes for it or anything. But yeah, today is even more sporadic than normal because I hadn't planned on doing one today. I've just finally seen my bestest friend Hamt, who used to be on the podcast with me. He used to be my teammate for the podcast for a good while. There's a good chunk of episodes with him on, and we had a proper catch up in ages, and we just spent like 2 hours chatting. So it got me in the mood for having a bit of a chinwag, but I'm not sure what about. Not sure how this podcast's gonna go. Oh, I just felt my energy suddenly drop off. Because this is the problem, like ADHD shit, when it's like, I hate using fucking labels, man. I really do. And it's took me years to like be able to say that. I always felt like it was something there. And to be fair, it did help with, what's the word? No, an excuse, but like, oh, that's why I'm like that with certain things. And like, with the missus watching that Educating Yorkshire. She watched because there's a new season of it, but like the original season was on like fucking years ago. So she's finished watching the new one, and now she's gone back and she's watching the original series. And obviously, with it being the wife watching it, I'll clock into different bits. And it's like there's this one kid being naughty. I think she's in geography or something. She's like, I don't like geography. It's boring. It's fucking shit. So obviously, this kid keeps fucking misbehaving in the class, and they're like not doing well. And I'm like I weren't naughty at school, but I weren't like some fucking A+ kid or whatever, because I could relate to that. Like the classes I weren't interested in, I weren't naughty, but I didn't fucking try because I was bored as fuck. Like RE, man, it's boring as fuck. But like, I think I did well in science, art, and DT, which is interesting, isn't it? Because they're like creative, hands-on. I was interested. Like I done good in DT, I done good in art, and science is a bit like more hands-on, isn't it? Later, I did like I did one piece in English. I remember once we had to do a descriptive piece of writing, and I'd done it about a skyline. Because at the time I was like, because I was a mechanic, that was my original trade, and like I was really into cars. Like when I left school, and like I rebuilt my engine in my fucking bedroom and shit. Like I was all about street racing and fucking everything in that kind of period. Not when I was at school, but that's like soon led to that. Anyway, my teacher was like, "Fuck." Right, like I was a bit naughty in English, but not like disruptive, being a dick. I'd just always be fucking around with friends and talking because I was bored, because I can't spell for shit and everything else. But like I know words, like my vocabulary's all right. So anyway, yeah, I wrote this piece of descriptive like thing, and he read it to the whole class and whatnot because he was really impressed with it because he liked that. So it's like that's what I mean. Like as soon as it was something I could be interested in, like suddenly I had a great day in English. I didn't have another one before or after that, of what I recall. But yeah, so this kid on this show being naughty and saying that, I was just like, I can just relate to that, and that's kind of where I'm at now. Like because I think with my jobs, like yeah, when I left school and became a mechanic, I was interested in cars. So when I got my job as a mechanic, it was like I enjoyed it, and then when that kind of left, it was hard because at the time there was a recession on, so like I got made redundant twice from being a mechanic, so that fucked that up. So I think there was some level of like interest of like, oh, I like wondering how things work and whatnot. I think that helped me when I become an electrician as well. But yeah, like I'm just what I didn't want to do today, and the reason, because the last podcast obviously was the rapping one, which was good, but the reason I hadn't planned one today or hadn't. The reason I haven't planned one today, and I weren't sure when I was going to do my next podcast, is because at the minute I'm still very much in podcast 53 mode, which is where it's the whole like, I called it creators guilt. I think I titled it, which it is a thing, but I'm not making money off any content. And if I did, not even if I did, the fact that I want to makes me feel guilty. But yeah, this is why I hadn't planned a new podcast, because I was worried that I'd just end up rehashing podcast 53, which I could feel myself going down. But that's my life at the minute, man. Like, that's where I'm at. Because, like, do you ever watch films where they're like, they've been to prison and they're like, I ain't going back, man. You can't make me go back there. Like, and they're just like, I'll die before I go back. That's how I feel about getting a job. And then there's the argument of like, do I need counselling? Do I need therapy? And I'm trying to ask myself that, because I'm like, on one hand, from like a societal view, it's like, well, yeah, because you have to work. You need to get a job. You've got to provide for your family. You need a wage. You've got to go and get a job and have a wage and provide for your family and blah, 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 and, you know, be a member of society, da, da, da. So if you've got something in your head that's stopping you, you need to go get that fixed. And on the other hand, I'm like, I've played that game. I'm going to be 37 in February. We're currently in October 2025. And I'm like, I've done that game. That's what I mean. Like, when I had the car crash and everything, and so it's a mix between the car crash, which I had, which if you're not aware of, it was like 8 years ago. Me and the wife driving, got run off the road. Car went down a ditch, rolled. There was like half the car left by the time it stopped. It was smashed to pieces. Like, lucky we walked away, which we are. We're not dead, but like, the missus had a ton of loads of surgeries and all the fucking shit, blah, blah, blah. But the main thing I took from that, it was like a Sunday morning going in a straight line, like dry, and we just got ran off the road. It's like, fuck, man, we could be going any day. And then it proper puts that perspective, like, what the fuck am I doing? So, like, since then, I struggled with, like, the purpose of going to work, because it's society. It's not it's not humans as we are. And we like to think of ourselves, well, we're evolved and all this blah de blah, and it's like, yeah, society has, but society's like evolved quicker than the humans in society have. It's like, we're not built to be earning a wage and making money. We're built to fucking live and love and fucking reproduce and all that shit. But it's like, we're not, we're born into the world of it, but the nature of us being born, of like what we are, our nature, that's the one. Our nature isn't to have a job and live in a house and just go by society. Like, we're just fucking plonked in that. And I think I've said in previous podcasts, it's where, you know, when you get like an animal and it's bred in captivity, and then I was like, I've got a good vocabulary, now I'm forgetting words. Where they're bred in captivity and then they're no good in the wild, but that's then the natural animal, like, is meant to be out. It's meant to be out in the wild, but because it's been bred in captivity, it's, oh fuck, I don't know how to survive out here again. And I feel like we just watched Shawshank Redemption this week. See me, ADHD, tangents. And if you've seen Shawshank Redemption, there's, my memory's gone to shit. The old boy, and he's in the library, and he leaves, but then he hangs himself because Red says he's institutionalized because he's been in prison so long, he doesn't know what to do in the outside world. Basically, I feel like the society has done that to us as humans. It's like, we're not meant, like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things I love about society, sort of thing, but how much of life it takes from you, I'm just like, fuck you. So yeah, I'm like, I remember being a kid, man, and like wanting to do stuff, just having, I had that air of like wonder and like, yeah, like I love when I think back, man, like you have to wonder, like, what if that side had been nurtured properly, which is what I'm trying to do for my kids now. Like, I tell them to do school and shit, but I'm like, I'm ultimately not that fucking bothered. Like, I'm more bothered about you coming across you fucking love. The problem is because I like to do loads of different things. Ugh, they're turning out the same way, but I'm hoping like my eldest will latch on something he loves because then I want to be able to support him with that. Anyway, again, another fucking tangent. Um, so yeah, so like, but my dad was like, I always wanted to be a mechanic. You're gonna be a mechanic, and I had a weird relationship with my dad because my parents split. So I guess you could say I got daddy issues. So like, I wanted to do that. Plus, I was intrigued as to how cars work, so I played with that a lot. But yeah, I've done my apprenticeship and a mechanic, and then when I left that, I went into UPS, and I had a whole thing at the time where I got into something with my brother where his his ex's new fella was like a dick, and something kicked off, and we got into like a whole fight fucking thing, and we got done for a fray, which is classed as like a mini riot. Anyway, I remember being in court with like the fucking barrister and shit, and the barrister reading out like I got like not witness statements, character references, right, from like people that I know that were higher standing in society, right. But I remember one of the things he was saying was that I'd got made redundant twice and still stayed employed because I just ended up going to UPS and just loading lorries for a few years, just to like, I've got to have a job, got to keep my job going, got to get a job. And it's interesting, because it's like, well, he's a good member of society because he went and got a job again. And it's just interesting. That was like a character reference about me because like, just because I went and got another job. So anyway, yeah, with like the car crash, really putting that into perspective for me. And then obviously doing a podcast and there's no one in this fucking room. I like to talk, but I like to listen as well. Like I do. I tell myself that a lot. And there was a thing where, interestingly, in the last couple of years of me doing my electrics, because I was trying to mold it in a way that I didn't want to fucking hang myself by just committing all my time to customers and jobs, I got into like a niche where I was like, my tagline was like, I'll do all the small jobs. I'm the guy for the small jobs, sort of thing. Because I found there was a niche market for that in electrics for just doing little jobs. There you go, business idea. Go on, fuck off, use it. There are other electricians now that advertise that in my area, and I'm like, I was doing this fucking years ago. Like, yeah. Anyway, but I did that because I could get a good amount of money from doing like a bunch of small jobs in a day. But that way I could take my kids to school, I could pick it up from school, and I wouldn't do weekends or anything. Ultimately, it still like wasn't the best business. The business went to shit because, like I said, I didn't like, I wouldn't go and quote on evenings because I wanted to be with a family because of this thing. But what I'm getting at is because I was doing more of these little jobs, like traditionally when you see people get self-employed and whatnot, they'll try and like Sparky that or like tradesmen, they tend to want to steer towards getting a big job because it's closer to like the security of having like an employed job. If you're on this whole fucking house project for like a couple months, then it's like, oh sweet, I ain't got to go deal with quotes and looking for the jobs and whatnot. Go in the same place every day for a little while, but it's not permanent enough to feel like a permanent job. So when you're doing stuff like that, even on a smaller scale, like you're doing stuff for builders, you might be like 2 or 3 jobs a week. You'd be on that builder's job for those 2 days, getting the first fix done, and then the next one, and then maybe a couple other smaller jobs in between. So I went from doing that to doing like between 3 and 10 jobs a day doing these little jobs. And the reason I'm saying this is because I met loads more people and they're more comfortable because they're in their own home. And I talk, but I listen, but I'm good at getting people talking and engaging with them. So I had loads of stories. Imagine the fucking stories I heard. Almost kind of think of it like a weird counsellor therapist sort of thing, because most of the time people would always start talking about their problems or struggles or regrets and stuff like that. Old people like to go through the medical history. Like, yeah, they'd tell me like, oh, this hospital and this surgery and that and doctor this and this results, but they'd like tell you the last 5-10 years worth, bless them. But I liked listening. Like, I'd done a rewire once and the guy was like on his own and his old boy, and literally at the end he was like, I'm gonna be sad to see you go. It's been nice having someone here. And I was like, oh man, break my fucking heart. I'm like, I can't just stay here, like, because money and all that shit. So this brings me back to the whole thing of like, oh yeah, like if you've got something mentally blocking you from like wanting to be employed and have a job, but that's what society needs from you, then yes, you need to go and get therapy and counseling and fix that problem to make you get a job again so you can fit in. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes like staying on that, right, I won't steer away from that. Like, so there's that, but then from everything else I've just said, I'm like, is it a problem? Like, does it need fixing? Or is it that I'm just more aware now? You know what I mean? Is it that I've got PTSD from a car crash and it's like, oh no, you've got like a mental problem that needs fixing, so you'll be happy just going and working a job again? Or is it that actually it's like, now I'm not ignorant to more stuff? You know what I mean? So, because the missus will say sometimes, oh, maybe you do need counselling. Well, I'm like, but do I though? Obviously, it's a problem because I'm not earning anything at the minute, and we're just kind of living off the So we get universal credit, and then we've got the personal injury settlement that we got from the car crash, which is like hardly anything fucking left of. We only get, the only reason we still get universal credit, by the way, and we've got like a big chunk in the bank, is because it was a personal injury compensation. Like legally, we get a 12-month, like it's disregarded for the first 12 months. After 12 months, if we've still got more than £6,000 in the bank, we can't claim our universal credit, which the way things are going, we probably won't have that much left anyway, so we'll still be on universal credit. But the problem is the universal credit doesn't give us enough to live off of. Like, we need more than we get to live. So yeah, there's that. So it's like, I don't want to go and get a fucking job because I feel like I've wasted enough of my fucking life doing that kind of work. It's not that I never have. I played the fucking game and I did it, and I was a good little boy. I was fucking kept my head down at school. I was shit. Like my fucking, like, I kept my head down, but like I weren't naughty, but like I didn't try that hard because I just did. I weren't fucking interested, and I couldn't, like, see, it stems back to then. And it's like, but I've done the whole career thing. You know, I became a mechanic. I've done my apprenticeship. I got my fucking trade. I got my redundant twice from that. Went to UPS for a few fucking years. Then I tried working with my brother doing like decorating and shit. Didn't go well working with family. Then I was like, because I still had that society thing in me and like my dad's voice in my head, it was like, I need to get a trade. Like, I got to get a trade again. And then I was doing decorating with my brother, and I come across some electricians, and they were like busy. And because I've helped restore like a Georgian hall when I was a teenager, which is like my landlord's old house, and helped him run cables then. But since then, Part P is more of a thing. So it's like electricians have more work. And anyway, I saw this electrician, blah, blah. And I was like, man, if I could do wiring on a fucking car and little relays and wires and computers and that sort of shit, I can do cables in walls, man. That ain't going to be fucking hard. So I was like, yeah, go get a trade. I thought I could do that, fucker. So, like, in some ways in life, I've been really fucking unlucky. In other ways, one main particular way is my landlord, who owns my house, has been like my dad. And like, he then paid for me to go and get retrained as an electrician. Obviously, I paid him off over time, like, but he gave me that option to be able to go and retrain as an electrician. But yeah, it was that. And you know what, the other fucker thing is that I think back on is like, I'm a sibling. I've got two older sisters and an older brother. And when I got my apprenticeship to be a mechanic, it was like I was the first one in our family to get a trade, to get a career. You know what I mean? And like, so it was like I was like successful. You know what I mean? Because the other ones had left school. I think my sister done some college courses or whatever, but didn't really get nothing from it. I think my eldest sister don't work. I don't really talk to him anymore. My sister's got a job, and my brother's got a job, but nothing like trade career type thing, which is like big brownie points in society. Oh, you got a trade. Good on you. And I say that, and I'm saying it like in a cunty way, but I'm saying it in a cunty way from my personal circumstances and me as, like, there's some tradies, man, like tradesmen and employed people, right? Because there's going to be a bunch of you listening to this, because most people are. And this is why I feel, but I need to clarify this, is like my stepdad, he was an engineer. He went to work every day, Saturdays as well. He'd even travel. He'd put in extra hours and whatnot. He would bitch and moan about that fucking place, but then he'd always go back. So he'd bitch and moan, but then he'd go back. He'd bitch and moan, and then he'd go back. Bitch and moan, and then he'd go back. And like most people I'd met working somewhere, or when I was an electrician working like with builders and other trades, like the guys would always bitch like fuck about the builder they were working for, like the labourers they had. But like they're still working for that builder now. Like 10 years later, they're still doing it. So from that perspective, I'm like, it can't be that bad then. Because if it was that bad, you'd find a fucking way of doing it. Like, there was the one pair, so it was the, if I remember rightly, the one guy, he's like, granddad was a roofer, I think his dad was a roofer, so he had like roofing in his blood. And then I'm sure the other guy learnt roofing from him. So 2 guys, right? And then the guy that learnt roofing from the guy that had like the pedigree in it, I could be slightly wrong with this, but this is how I remember it. He was like, we should leave the builder and go do our own roofing thing, you and me. The pedigree roofer was like, oh man, but I've got like, I like the wage and I've got a kid at home. They both had kids. They both got like families. But he was like, nah man, we can do this. Fuck the builder, we'll go do it ourselves. So the one who had learnt from the pedigree roofer went off and ended up with his brother, and he's got like a bunch of vans now and like a whole bunch of people he employs and everything else. The pedigree roofer is still with the builder now, 10 years later, like doing it. So what I mean by that is like, when I'm talking in a, what's the word? Like talking down to the way of like having to get a conventional job and blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about it circumstantially because I don't want someone to listen to this and be like, whoa, does that make me an idiot then? Because I've got a job and I go to work every day and da, da, da. Like, no, it means that you don't resent it as much as me. And I wish I was like, I fucking wish that I could, I wish my life was simpler. Ugh. Wow. I speak shitly about the societal side of it and the expectations. I'm not talking bad about the people that do it, because I don't resent the people that do it. I resent the people that do it, I admire and envy, because you obviously don't resent that style of work or that blueprint as much as me, because you're still doing it, and you might generally moan about it, but you're still fucking doing it, and it ain't eating at your soul. Like the last few months of me fucking sparking, like, and that was me being self-employed sort of thing, not even like at a job. But yeah, the last few months of that, it was fucking hard. And that's why I was like, when the wife was finally like, oh, just fucking leave it. I was like, it was probably like, oh my God, can I please? Because it's just, yeah. And it's so annoying because along the side of how I view that societal expectation sort of thing, at the same time, with me talking to a lot of people, I come to view money, whereas when I was younger and I left school and when I was first being a mechanic and whatnot and going through my trades that I'd done, it was very much of, what job do you have? What's your wage? Through the time of like, obviously looking away from that model and also talking to customers over the years, especially like I say in that period where I was talking to between like 2 and 10 people a day, like over a couple years, it's a lot of fucking people I spoke to. I've come to view it as just, where do you make your money from? Because there's fucking loads of just revenue streams, you call it, don't you? Just ways of getting an income. Like, there's fucking loads. Like, if... yeah. Because I try and think of, like, this, the podcasting, and me making videos and content and whatnot. I try to relate it to Netflix or whatever. Because I haven't got a niche, right? and I can't provide a service. So I can't be like, oh, I need to burp. It'll come. Pardon me. See, burps are in, unedited. If I did say a gaming channel, because I've got some gaming videos, I've just started playing Apex Legends because I want to get better at it so I can play with my son. Because I'm trying to get him away from Fortnite. And if he's going to play a game like that, I'd rather him be on Apex. But I played with him and I'm like, son, I'm dead. And he's like, okay. Son, I'm dead. I'm like, fucking, I'm shit at it. So anyway, I've done the first video of like trying to get good at Apex, right? But if I was a gaming channel, if that was my niche, then it's like you can do update videos about those games. Obviously, if that's all you're doing, you do like tips and tricks videos. You know, they'll have like 5 tips about how to be good at Apex Legends, blah, blah, blah. Hang around for that fucking last tip because that's the one that's really going to get your score up. You know, all them like hook kind of lines that you can say to like get people in. Like if you're providing a value like that, maybe you feel like, oh, you know, he's helped me get better at a game. Like, yeah, I'd like to like be like I've had it with Pokemon ones where I've been like members of the channel. So it's like £2 a month or £2 a month sort of thing. Because I'm like, I watch the videos a lot. Especially as a creator, I know how much time it takes into making videos, and especially when they're like nicely edited ones. So I don't do nicely edited videos. I just do fucking attrition warfare. I just video that much of me doing stuff. Like, whereas I could be doing like a nicer edit on a video, I'd rather just be making another video because I want to do stuff all the time. But yeah, so I try to think of it as like, if people get to the point where they just enjoy watching my videos and it's an entertainment value thing, then yeah. Well, it'd be views, wouldn't it? Yeah. You're getting enough views, you get your monetization, you get money from that. And it's like, I'd like to have a nice, like, small members bit would be fucking cool. I'd love to do a members bit and try and do like a members only chat and members only videos. Like, that'd be cool on the channel. I'd love that. And then you get sponsors, don't you? If you get enough if you're getting enough attention. What would I be sponsored by? What would I like? Because you tend to see the same ones on YouTube. Like, I used to watch, what's his name? Matt Jones. And it was always that AG one something, that like green fucking health shake thing. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. That's a big one. I wouldn't mind that. I've actually got a website I made with Squarespace, but I don't use it. I think I did. I got halfway through doing it. I want to be sponsored by cool stuff. Can you get sponsored by Pokemon? Or like Shonen Jump manga? I want to do some videos soon because, man. Yeah, so this podcast is nothing. I'm just all over the place. It is what it is. So like, I wanted to do. Last year I got into reading, right? And I've read through the Mistborn trilogy, the whole Stormlight Archive, Elantris. Read some of the Arcanum Unbounded short stories in that. I read Ready Player 1 and 2. What else? Anyway, so I've read through all them. And then I'm like, bollocks! Video idea. I could have done like a book club video series. I'd have loved to do that. Like, read a few chapters and then do a video just talking about, hey, this is what I've got so far in this book. This is what I think's going to happen. This is what I think and feel about what happened so far. What do you think and feel about what happened so far? Like, if you've read to this point and like, yeah, every like, say 5, 10 chapters, whatever, do like a little video about it. But I got this idea as I was about 3/4 of the way through the final Stormlight Archive book. So I was like, yeah, I've basically finished it. And I feel like that would have been a lovely idea. So in the year I've been reading all them big novels, I've built up a small collection of first volumes of mangas. Manga novels, like, it's where animes come from. Normally start as a manga novel series and then it turns into an anime. That's why people that don't watch anime are like, oh, they're just cartoons. It's like, no, because cartoons are like Tom and Jerry and The Simpsons. Like, you can just watch any random episode. It don't matter. Like, it's funny or entertaining to watch and that's it. Animes tend to come from mangas, so they have a story. That's the main differentiation between the two. Like, you can't just jump into a random episode of an anime. It's like, you've got to watch it from the start, otherwise you won't understand the story. So, but yeah, I wanted to do a video being like, I started 5 new mangas. Like, this is my thoughts on them. Which one should I carry on reading? So yeah, I've done Earth Expansion, Doctor Stone, Jujutsu Kaisen. That ninja one. Can't remember. I fucking loved Earth Expansion. I was really enjoying that. And then I got to the 4th volume and it was like, this is the final volume. I was like, what? No. But then, what? No. That forky thing, if you've ever seen that. What? No. I was like, yeah. Got to the end of it and it's like, but I can't find anything online about it being cancelled or shut down and nothing about why it stopped, because there's such a big story that was coming out of that. Like, fucking, the basic premise of that is the title. In the story in the first book, it's like 50 years ago the Earth suddenly expanded. It's like 1,000 times its normal size, which meant like the continents are like, I'm near Birmingham. I'm about an half-hour drive from Birmingham in the UK. So it's like that happened, then like Birmingham is suddenly like hundreds of miles away. You know what I mean? So all the cities got like spread out, new land in between, but it's like, what the fuck? And it's like, they don't know if all the cities survived or if they're the only one left or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, so that's the basic premise of it. And then it brings in obviously monsters and special abilities and blah, blah, blah. But I just loved that because in the first issue it said, I love this about mangas. You always get like a little bit from the author at the start, like just a little paragraph, like any little one, just saying something. And sometimes at the end as well. And I like that because I like that authors do that with manga, because you don't get that with novels. And I know in the first issue of Earth Expansion, he says, the author, that he likes the feeling in computer games when you get further along and it's like there's more and more, like it kind of opens up and builds. And he's like sort of tried to build that feeling into this series, and I loved that kind of premise. But yeah, pissed at that didn't get carried on. If I ever make it big, right, let's say this shit actually takes off in the next 5-10 years, right? Let's say like overnight a look and it's like, fuck, like some people have got hold of my podcast and decided to go all the way back to the start and back through and blah, blah, blah. And like money came from it in some sort of way. I'd love to be like starting campaigns to like get this manga restarted. You know what I mean? Like, here's fucking 50 grand or whatever. Just write the next 10 volumes, please. Just fucking go do it. Oh, it'd be so fun to have money to like do cool, fun stuff with like that, but like that other people want it too. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, basically this was just, I ended up rehashing podcast 53 denied. But like I say, it's difficult because that's my life at the minute. And because I'm doing this fucking summer house for the wife, I love my wife and I'm glad she's going to have it and I want her to have it. But yeah, there's this thing they say about people with ADHD, don't they, where it's like, what was it? I saw a reel earlier. Like, it's usually a video and it's someone doing something fucking silly or crazy sort of thing. And it's like an ADHD person doing what they're doing when they're doing this instead of doing whatever they're meant to be doing. Because it is, as soon as it's like proper, like this needs to be done, it's like, yeah. Because what is it they say? Like, it ain't motivation we work off if it's like the adrenaline sort of thing. So yeah, so I don't get very motivated by like this needs doing. I'm very much like one of my kids. It's like, oh, okay. So, but if it's something fun to do, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll do that. So yeah, with the summer house at the minute, because this will bore you, but I just need to let you know where my life's at with this. I made the small bedroom into like the craft room for my wife, so she had her own space. But my 3 kids in the one room, especially my middle son, who's autistic to a degree. Like, he's like Rain Man. Like, he's fucking a whiz at school, but emotionally he struggles and he winds his brothers up to fuck. And yeah, so when we redone the rooms before the summer, we made that room my middle son's room, and we've left the eldest and the youngest in the other room together because they get along better. Yeah. But yeah, so it means everything that was in there is now like in the lounge and on the dining table, and a load of other bits that are just like in here to my left and in my shed, and it's just like so it's affecting the house. So it's like I need to get this fucking summer house done. So I'm having to I'll go snowboarding once a week, which has been my videos on the channel lately. So I'm going tomorrow morning, go snowboarding. But then aside from that, I'm not the rest of the week. I need to be getting on with this fucking summer house. And because I've lost the motivation for it, I'm not really videoing much of it either. Because I'm like, I've been trying to, and I've been trying to just like leave the camera in the corner, and I'm going to voice over the footage when I do that. Like, because we've got the summer house, but to do the summer house, I had to dismantle my entire gym. I had to build like the wooden frame and like dig all that in. They come and built the summer house up in a day, but then the summer house itself, I've insulated it, I've wired it, boarded it, painted it. Then I've got to finish the wiring. So at the minute it's painted and boarded. We had the floor put in yesterday, like a vinyl flooring. But I prepped the floor, I boarded it, filled all the joints, filled all the screws, fucking sanded the shit out of it so it's smooth as fuck. So I was doing that last night. That could have been a better that could have been a video, I guess. But I feel like the lens would have got covered in dust. But yeah, so I'm struggling through it, and I'm trying not to make the wife feel bad that I'm not like enthused to do it. But anyway, once that's done, there'll be other stuff to do in like the garden and the house. But it'll be like I could do it 1 or 2 days a week. And the rest of the week, I could be making fucking videos and pushing with it with the channel. Yeah. So yeah, I think I might leave it there because yeah, I'm really just kind of waffling, and these podcasts are never gonna work. It's like a vlog podcast. Who gives a fuck about me? It's good for me because I'm talking about it. Like it helps. I'm just getting it out. I want to put. I want to. So I like putting transcripts into ChatGPT. So like I wanted to get the transcripts from all of my podcasts, put them into ChatGPT, just see what it says. Just if it's like, bro, you're a fucking nutcase, or like, hey, you're onto gold here if you like can market it in this way and blah de blah. Because sometimes you need that like outer perspective, don't you? But yeah, I am going to leave you. I need to go crack on with this somewhere else. I need to go get the filler out and the cork before I do another coat of paint on it. Yes. Yeah. I want to play Apex for a bit. 12 o'clock. No, I'll go get in the somewhere else. I've done this today. I've done my podcast, and I saw my friend this morning. I'm going snowboarding tomorrow. So yeah, I need to crack on with somewhere else. Right, I'm going to go. If you've watched this all the way through, you deserve a fucking medal. Be sure to check out the channel. Check out the other podcasts, like the other videos, man. I've got my other podcasts. Most recent ones, I've got my snowboarding ones. I've got my original workout vlog series. I've got my old rapper vlog series when I was trying to rap at the time, like make a thing of it. My RC car videos. I've got some Warhammer videos. Pokemon TCG Online videos. I'll have my Apex one up soon if you want to see how bad I am trying to learn how to play that fucking game. And yeah, there'll be more to come. I've got loads of ideas for videos. I just haven't had the time to make them. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And I'll see you in the next one.